Hello, this is entspeak, and this is a video to show you the features and the functionality of the automated production, processing, storage platform. This beast right here. Now, what does this do, you might ask, this big monstrosity, this collection of industrial tubing? Well, let me light this up so you can see a little bit better. What I've got here is independent storage for every component. Has its own small storage container. You can modify these, have large containers if you want, or combine them, I did this to kind of show how a system like this would kind of get maximized use of the sorting system. I've got one large container for ammo, because there are 3 types of ammo in the vanilla game, but some people have modded ammo, and I could have created 3 separate small containers here, and have the pull system go to each of them. This is more storage than 3 small containers, so people like their ammunition. I thought I'd allow that. Then there's storage for material. This is ingots and gravel, basically the stuff to use to build components. This is the ore. Ore is only in here temporarily. The minute it gets in here, it's pulled into processing to the refining system. So unless there's an overflow, unless these get full, it's just going to sit right in there. As for the refining system, we have 3 furnaces, 1 for iron, 1 for nickel, 1 for cobalt. That's the way, those are the 3 ores that you can refine in the vanilla game with a furnace. And then the refinery will do all the others. It will not pull nickel, iron, or cobalt in here. So if you want to refine those, you'd have to put them in manually by putting it in physically, through a hatch. And we have the assembly system. There's 1 master assembler and 2 slave assemblers, and then 1 dedicated disassembler. I do this because sometimes you have an assembling thing going on, but you want to disassemble something. This way you can use both at the same time. I could set this up using valves to, you'd have to set it up using valves to both have the assembly system be able to disassemble as well, because otherwise you create a loop. You have to be mindful in a sorting system of loops. It's very easy, especially the more complicated you make it, for loops to appear, and you just have to kind of weed them out. So that's how the system works. Once the assembler is done assembling, it automatically stores the components in their storage containers. And any excess material you can manually drag back through the UI to the material storage. With the disassembler, you can drag items in from the components, any component container, into the disassembler, and then manually drag the material back to the resulting material back to the material storage. So that's how this all works. Now let's see it in action here. First we'll deal with the things that I have on my body. Then I'll go with my ship. This is my welder grinder I designed. Uses rotors too. I can quickly show how that works. It's a nice design. I likes it. The counter rotation keeps the ship from moving as it goes. Anyway, enough of that. Not here to discuss that. So, how do I get this to work? I first slam into it for good luck. I have to turn the docking connector on, docking switch. So here, it helps if you actually connect to the system. APPSP. Switch. And we have the docking valve switch. It's set up to do, I don't need to show you that. I can just show you how it's working. There you go. It turns on the light and turns on the valve down there, you can see. Yeah? So now items can be taken through the connector wherever you want it. So now, inventory. I got things on my inventory. I've got some iron, nickel, uranium, things like that. So I want to go and put them in. Right now it's set to output. This is fine. Go in here. If I want to go to input, just go back to switches again. Input, output valve switch, trigger it, and now we're set up. That valve is on. I now can take anything from here, thwunk, and it's gone. Where did it go? That was an ingot, so chances are it went to the material storage. It's there in material storage. I had cobalt there from an earlier. There's so much of it. When I put this to survival, I left it at normal inventory, so I can't drag all that cobalt onto my person. I tried. It doesn't work. So that's it. I can also, if I wanted to, I can drag directly to the connector, the pulling connector, if I wanted to, and it will put it through the collector into the material storage. Yep. And if you want to look at stores of things, you know, you can isolate the storage. You can do it this way as well, but I think it also shows you connectors when you do that. Anyway, back to the docking connector. Show all. This is how the uranium works. I can put that in there. It goes also into material storage. Does not get sucked into the reactor. What I can do is go to reactor connector. Oop. There. And what I can do, if I want to, is just bloop. Now it should be in the reactor. I have other, there should be now more. Yeah, 2.8. There was 1 point in there before. So that's where that went. And that keeps the, you know, keeps the uranium from being sucked into the reactor the minute you dock. And it, you know, you don't want that. Sometimes you want to store uranium ingots. So let's go back to my person. I can also drag in the docking connector. I can also move things to holding, which is going to be, once I get the ship connected, that'll be a bigger deal. Drag all these over. Drag all these over. And where those went is to weapons and tools. So it sorted everything for me. And that's how it works on an individual basis. I'm now going to show you how this will work on when you connect a ship. So I'm going to leave this as is. There are things I'm going to want to do prior to actually docking, but I'll get there first. Well, that's why I put docking cameras on my other ships. Here we are. We are docked. Now before I dock, if I were to dock right now, you can see the input system is on, the valve is open. It would suck all of the inventory. I have a very full storage and grinders. Everything is full. Reactors. What I have done is I've got my reactors, they're not using the conveyor system, so the uranium will not be sucked out of there, but everything else will. So what I want to do is go back to here, go back to that switch, and I want to turn this valve to output. Now you can see the blue light is flashing. So now it's safe to dock without having my inventory sucked out. So I can do that now. And my inventory should still all be there. Great. Now what I can do is it moves stuff over into the docking connector. Why is that? Overflow? That's kind of strange. Don't know why it did that. Weird. Let's move all this to holding. Then go back to my inventory and then put this on holding. And just drag some of this stuff out. Let's get the rear connector clear. Right, and say that that's all I want to move. I didn't want to move anything else. Did I just pull it out of the grinders? That's what it looks like. It looked like it pulled it out of the grinders into there. That's a strange thing for it to have done. Cool. Oh, I know why I did that, because everything was full and the grinders will naturally want to push things into storage. That explains it. Normally they would just be pulled into my storage container and be left there, but because my storage was full, the rear connector was full, it just went to the right out the back end and said, oh, we're emptying into the next available storage container, which happened to be the docking connector. Riddle solved. Okay, so now we've got these things in holding. So what I want to do next is make sure I've got the docking valve off. And then I can switch. Let's see, we've got can I not even see it? Should be able to see it. Oh, because it's not. The mistakes we make. Okay, that's everything in holding. Now if I go to switch this, bloop, now everything in holding is gone. Everything in my main storage is there. I'm still connected to the ship. It's not sucking everything out, but it has put, let's see, I think there was some radio comms in there. So it's now moving all the radio communications equipment into that storage. And this is the other issue with this kind of system. This is why I wish they had made the block do this in and of itself. It's not quick. It slows it down. So when you have a lot of things, you can really back up a system. And the automated sort mod does this just using the conveyor system. So I hope at some point this is a test and they can make this. I like the idea of having this routing ability with the valves, but being required to use the connector collector fake pull system, it just slows things up, and as you can see, takes up a lot of space. So that's the downside. Now say I had I just wanted everything to come out of my ship. I've got all of this. I don't want to drag this over there. I just want to, you know, have everything go. What I can do is go to the control panel, switch that on. That's all on. Now my main storage is empty. holding is empty, and everything is going to its appropriate place. So if I go to steel plates, you can see all this stuff is being stored. Just type in store. Here we go. So everything I had on my ship is now being moved into its storage. Slowly, but surely. Yeah? So that's how the docking and the storage system works. I don't have ore, I'd show that. It does the same thing with ore, just basically goes and refines it and puts it and then dumps the output into the storage. Auto-magically. Can I show that? Let's go grab a tool and do some mining. There's an asteroid nearby, right? Shouldn't take too long. So go just grab this manually. Here. I could just grab it through the output, but I also don't like that it does that. Character tools, mining. Here we go. So we're going to mine a few things, you know, just a little bit of mining. A little bit of that. We're almost full. Yeah, inventory full. Okay, so we've got some iron and all that. Iron and gold. Now what I can do is just go and put this into... If I put this in here, it'll just get sucked right out. If we go up, it may be done refining that little bit of iron. It's working. Yeah? So let's see what it's doing. The iron furnace is done. Refinery is working on that little bit of gold. And that's how that works. And it automatically, as you can see, it takes it out and puts it into material storage. Done and done. Great. We've got a little bit of iron. So why don't we try and make something here? I don't know why I keep going over it, but I can just all do this remotely. Go to production, the master assembler, make sure we're on assembling and not disassembling, assemble. You can see it's dumping that inventory into its appropriate space. You won't be able to see it because it's already there. In steel plates. That's what it does. Now, what I can also do then is go back to production and disassembler. And let's say I want to set this to disassemble. That's weird. Did it automatically do that? It does. Yes, that's fantastic. Disassembler is always set to disassemble. I like that idea. So what I want to do is go into my inventory, pull up the disassembler here, and then find here I want to disassemble my gun. Oops. You know, why not? Go to production. Done and done. Go back to inventory. The little bits that were needed there are good. Material storage. A little bit of nickel. Yeah. Say I want again. Just go back to that master assembler. And components, tools. And then that should be back in the weapons and tools. There you go. So that's how this system works. If I want to output, if I want to take things off, what I do, let's see if I can get here so you can see these valves go on and off. I don't think you can. Okay. Let us then switch the valve here to the blue one. And now, say I want to grab those tools. Into my ship. I can just take them. Now they're on my ship. I can do that with any storage container. I don't believe I can grab from ore. I don't have anything again because the ore is just, and I don't know that that makes any difference because the ore just gets sucked right out the minute it goes in to be refined. This is about production and processing. It's not a mining storage facility. It's not meant to store ore. You could probably create another module here that would do that, and then selectively choose to refine what you want to refine. You could add that to the system fairly easily. I was going to do something else. Materials. I can grab any materials I want out of here. I can't put them back. It's not a two-way system. If I want to do that, I just go back to well, what I would do first is put them in holding. Yeah. Then turn off the docking valve, turn on the input valve, then they're back in their spot. Putting them away. Da-da-da-da-da. And that is how this system works. It's not too complicated. The only complicated thing is doing this switching. And, you know, I'm sure some genius will find a way to code it to do this with the flick of a button so you don't have to go in. I would love to have that happen. I wonder if I can. Let's see if we can do it. We're connected. Can we set the timer? We've got that timer. Wonder if we can do this. Trigger now. Trigger now. So, if I get out of here and I undock, oops, wrong button, undock, Right? Now I won't have that. I hate that. Now I can't activate it. Can I? No. But if I dock again, I should be able to, I forget which one's which. Docking valve is there. So 9 is a docking valve. Yeah! Look at that. So if you set this up, and you can come back to it, you can do these just when you dock and handle it that way. It's much easier than going through. Lovely. So that's how the system works. That's how you can further automate it. There are lots of ways to go about this that are, advances that can be made, further features that can be done, refining of the structure and all that. But I wanted to get this. If you want, this is up here on the workshop. Take it, just plop it in. It's all named. Everything is clear. If something goes wrong, you can easily track it down. This is the small steel tube storage. You type that in the filter, you can see the collector, the connector, the filter associated with it. That's these items right here. That's those. So if something goes wrong, you can easily track it down by showing it on the HUD, etc. So it's easy to find, easy to figure out. I hope you like it. All right. Thank you very much.